Hello, welcome. This is Build Your Wealth to Trajan Wealth. He's Jeff Jr., he's the star of the show. I'm Rusty Humphries. I just happen to be here because I'm lucky to hang out with the cool guys. Here in a lovely park, it's a lovely day, and talking about something, Jeff, that you know a lot about, I don't know so much about, and I think a lot of people have heard about it, and they go, what do I know? What is it? And they're talking about annuities. What is an annuity?
Annuities are a contract, in simple definition, an annuity is a contract with an insurance company, plain and simple. So you're making an agreement with an insurance company, and in return for the premium or the dollars that you invest, they're going to provide to you a income stream in retirement.
Okay, so you like these things? I mean, when you say insurance companies, I start going,
right. I mean, annuities and insurance companies in general, there's a lot of bad rap out there. So I like them when they're established correctly. Okay. I think the biggest problem with a lot of annuities out there, though, is they just do not benefit the consumer whatsoever. They really do benefit the insurance company. So it's a matter of, but again, I'm generalizing, so you can't put all annuities in the bad camp, and you can't put all annuities in the good camp. So I do like annuities, but I like annuities that are done correctly by the insurance company.
Okay. Now you're talking about bad rap. There's a lot of bad rap out there. I mean, I like Will Smith, kind of like the Beastie Boys. LL Cool J is pretty good, but a lot of the other stuff is not good.
It's not good. No. Like when you get online to when you get online to research an annuity, you're going to find a common theme, and one of those common themes is it pays very high commission, and another common theme is the only person that it's good for is the advisor or the broker that's selling it to you,
or the life insurance guy,
or the life insurance guy. Another common theme is that they're incredibly expensive. And while again I'd say some of that is true, you know, there's a little bit of truth to all of that. It's really a matter of finding one that works, and it depends on your financial situation if any of them work.
And so for many annuities, I guess we can't talk about all annuities. I mean, they're kind of different. Each one is kind of a little bit different.
Yeah, there's really three main types. You can lump them into three categories. You can either have a fixed annuity. Easiest one to understand, it pays a fixed rate of return. You know, so think of this fixed annuity like a CD. You have money sitting in a CD, the CD earns X percent.
Okay. A
fixed annuity is the same way. The big advantage with an annuity in general is all annuities grow tax deferred. So unlike a CD where you receive a 1099, a tax form every year, an annuity is going to grow tax deferred. So there's a fixed annuity. Easiest one pays a set fixed interest rate, 2%, 3%. And then you also have a index annuity, and then a variable annuity. So a variable annuity is the opposite of a fixed annuity. You getting this?
I'm getting it.
So a variable annuity is going to vary based upon the underlying stock market investments.
So if stock market does good,
the variable annuity
is good.
Has the potential to increase. If it goes down, you lose money. Okay, so you've got a fixed annuity on one side, you've got a variable annuity on the other side. And then the other one I mentioned was index annuity, which is kind of in between.
Do you like one better than the other?
I like the index annuities better than a variable annuity, and sometimes a fixed annuity, yes.
And it's indexed, what, usually on like the S&P or something like that?
Yeah, good. You knew that. Excellent. I'm proud of you. You've been listening.
I do. I pay attention. So, see what happens when you watch Jeff Jr.?
Great. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I am proud. So yes, an index annuity is tied to an underlying index like the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones. So if the index goes up, you'll be credited to a portion of that gain. But the benefit is if the index ever goes down, you're guaranteed not to lose. So it's a good way to preserve principal.
Okay.
You know, there's really two reasons I'd use an annuity. Generally speaking, if you want to preserve your principal, meaning you don't want to take the ride with the market, preserve principal. And the second one is receive guaranteed income in retirement. An annuity, I will add, an annuity is the only product out there that will pay you a guaranteed income stream in your retirement regardless of how long you live. So even if you're living till 130 years of age like you're going to do, it will always make those payments no matter what.
So that sounds like a pretty good idea.
It can be used as a very good financial planning tool.
Why would you not do it?
The biggest reason is annuities aren't flexible, and what I mean by that is you can't invest and pull out 100% of the money.
So something goes wrong, you have a emergency, something happens, you can't say, I need my money back.
Correct.
Okay.
You can get it back, but there's going to be a penalty associated. And that's oftentimes where the problems come in. People just don't know what that penalty is, what they can or can't get.
And is it different with each annuity, the penalties?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it varies greatly.
And can be a pretty big penalty is what it looks
It can be.
Like.
I've seen some penalties that get up to 20%.
Wow.
So again, if you invest $100,000, $20,000 is a penalty if you need that money. But again, I'd contend that that is something that advisors need to teach and explain up front. You shouldn't be learning about that after the fact. That's where it's problematic.
Okay, you were talking about bad rap a while ago. Is there a way to make sure I'm getting the right annuity, not getting ripped off?
Well, there's a few different ways. I'd say first and foremost, you have to work with somebody that you trust. You have to work with somebody who you believe and has your best interest in mind. And one thing I can say
I would suggest Trajan Wealth. That's me. Go ahead.
And I'd say the same thing. I mean, we always put the needs of our clients over our own. So we're not in the business of selling, we're in the business of teaching and educating. And the annuity is a part of what we do. There's a lot of advisors out there, what is their sole investment that they always go to? It's the annuity. We don't work it that way because we don't believe that one size fits all.
Okay.
So I think first and foremost, work with somebody that you trust, work with somebody that has a proven track record of maintaining that trust. And then also there's a lot of information that you can find, brochures that you can read, so there's a lot of self-education involved.
I know everything's different for everybody and no circumstance is the same, but would you suggest in a general way taking all my money and putting it in that annuity?
Never. And if anybody ever recommends that, they don't have your best interest in mind.
Okay.
Because again, it goes back to the flexibility, it goes back to the liquidity. You need some emergency funds to fall back on. If you take all of your money and put it into an annuity and an emergency comes up, then what? Then it completely defeats the purpose of why you started that annuity in the first place.
Right.
So you need different, I call them buckets of money, let's say. You need different buckets of money for different life circumstances because you never know what's going to come your way.
So probably a good way to tell if somebody's got your best interest is if they're pushing annuities, all annuities, just annuities,
For sure.
that's not your guy. Probably.
That is not your guy, that's not your gal, because that means that they're in it for themselves.
Because there's a lot of, I know guys that are life insurance salesmen, and I know that they have sometimes big incentives, contests and things to sell those annuities.
But I think another thing too is there's a lot of advisors who work for the companies that create those annuities. And that doesn't provide any independence. That doesn't allow that advisor to choose. So in many cases, it's not just the advisor, it's not the individual. In many cases, it's the company that they work for. What kind of flexibility does that company provide their advisors?
Okay, so they may be saying, you got to sell this, you've got to sell
Absolutely.
50 of them by the end of the month.
And then the company they work for creates the product and makes the product. They have their own sales force. So now you're really pigeonholed into that single product. I mean, just ask that kid back there. He knows.
Kid screaming in the back. See, and so what you don't want is that guy that sold it to you sitting on that cruise for hitting his sales goals, and you're going, I'm stuck.
And again, in defense, there's nothing wrong with sales goals. There's something wrong, though, with being pigeonholed to sell one product to meet those sales goals. You're giving incentive the wrong way.
Right.
And we don't do that. We'll never do that.
Well, what do you do different?
As far as what?
Well, I mean, if you're talking about people selling and you do it differently.
Well, for one, we're independent. So we're not owned by an insurance company. We're not beholden to any insurance company. It doesn't matter to me what insurance company we use.
Okay.
So it's completely independent. I'm agnostic. Now, yes, it's true that some annuities pay more than others,
right.
But I can tell you also that our sales team doesn't know that. They're not incentivized by one paying higher than the other. They don't know what compensation gets paid from company A or company B. But I think it's also important to know that we give all of our advisors a broad choice. They can use everything from company A to company C and everything in between.
So that's part of what's great about you guys is it's much more well-rounded than maybe some other places like brokers, as we've talked about in the past.
For sure. Yep, for sure. And we have managed money, and annuities accounts, as far as our business is concerned, annuities account for maybe 20%.
Okay.
So it's actually the minority portion of our business.
Okay. Well, if you want to find out more about Jeff Jr. and his business, Trajan Wealth, I would suggest you give them a call. Is there like a number that people could call?
Of course.
What would that be?
There's our local number here in Arizona, which is 480-990-3300. And if you call that number and you're out of state, that'll work just as well. Too.
You're not just in Arizona, you're all over and growing.
I just don't know the Utah number, the Oklahoma number off the top of my head.
All right, well, we'll have something down there for you. Don't worry about that. The other thing we'd like to suggest is that you subscribe. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification button as well to let you know every time a new edition of Build Your Wealth with Trajan Wealth featuring Jeff Jr. By the way, did you just change that name of the show? I added featuring Jeff Jr.
I'm fine with that.
Okay,
if
you
you
should
want,
be.
or we could say featuring Rusty Humphries.
No, because it's not featuring me. That's why we have to distinguish that it's featuring you. I'm just a hanger-oner. I'm just a guy hanging out because I want to learn something.
He's a character.
And here's the thing: you can learn as much as I do. And you don't have to come out and sit in the sun. So just keep subscribing to the show, get those notifications, and also share this program with your friends and your loved ones, and make sure that they build their financial knowledge so they can help build their wealth with Trajan Wealth. For Jeff Jr., I'm Rusty Humphries, and we'll catch you next time here on Build Your Wealth with Trajan Wealth featuring Jeff Jr.
Take care.
Investment advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All guarantees based upon the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.